A very good evening. Sorry, a very good morning, Mamukase. Hey, I had a lot of break. So, Kwandiri Achiri Maneru. So, let us take a look at a very important issue here. Zimbabwe Electoral Commission had an interview with Ruben Barwe. That is that Jasper Mangwana had an interview with Ruben Barwe. They discussed the key issues which we cannot ignore as a people because they touch a lot in terms of governance, in terms of transparency, in terms of democracy in the nation of Zimbabwe. So let me get to this story first. Then we can have time to actually have a discussion and talk much about it. So let me go to this interview so that we can have a discussion.
The 2023 harmonized elections is clear. Recently, there has been gazetted fees. For example, for one to become a president, you need to cough out 20,000 American dollars or its equivalent. And what is disturbing is a lot of pretenders have been coming on wanting to become presidential candidates. And the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission had to put his feet down.
We need to see commitment from those that intend to fight for this office. So for the presidential, it's 20,000. It's not really the first thing in this country. It is happening across the country. In other countries, actually, there's a registration and regulation of political parties. And some of the requirements are so steep that not even everyone is able to register a political party. But in Zimbabwe, that has not been there. So this is also one of the ways that ensure that as we get to 2023, the printing of the ballot paper, the printing of electoral material, when you have 23 presidential candidates, and even if you look at the wards, for us now, for people to contest in wards, for council positions, they don't pay anything. So we're also seeking to see the introduction, because the one that we've gazetted is for the party list for senators as well as councillors, which are going to be the provincial councils. But for those that are fighting for local authority positions, they're not paying anything. You just need to be 18 years and a citizen of this country. But you're going to be really, implementing bylaws in a local authority. You're going to be running budgets for councils. So we need to also see commitment, because whoever has to run for public office must not be financially insolvent.
There is also another element which concerns the number of voters in a given constituency, a ward, or the country as a whole, provinces, who should give signatures to say, this is the man we know. Do you have it in all these instruments which have been published?
The number of people that voted for, they participated in the elections, there were over 5 million. So if you look at that number, and someone only requires maybe 1,000 people that say we are supporting this person, the numbers might be low. We might need to revisit that. We need also to see your commitment. You are vying for public office, you intend to represent the people, you intend to make the laws of this land, you intend to administer the city funds. There is need for you to commit. You're not only supposed to come in for benefits, but also show your own commitment, so that we know that you are serious for the interests of the public. The commission is empowered to regulate these fees, not through a multi-stakeholder or consultation with these, because these are the people who are supposed to pay these fees. So the moment you bring them together and discuss, at times we may not agree to a figure which suits everyone. But what I would say is this is standard practice everywhere, and it's unfortunate that some of them are seeing as if we're closing, the democratic space. But actually, we're improving good governance and the best democracy that is required. Because surely you cannot get out of nowhere and say I want to represent a constituency and run simply because the requirements are on the lower end. We need to see commitment for the person who's vying for this office.
He also spoke about what need to be understood by members of the public about why the diaspora vote cannot be given to Zimbabweans in the diaspora.
The law is clear that our voting in Zimbabwe is polling station specific. There have been issues around, people are voting in 2 different polling stations, 5 different polling stations, to cap for that. Then the commission introduced polling station specific voting for you. In the day of voting, if you're registered to vote in Kambuzuma and you happen to be at a funeral in Tar, you can't approach any of the polling station to vote. You can only cast your vote in Kabuzuma, where you are registered to vote. And this, some people have made arguments in terms of the diaspora vote to the court. And the court said that if you don't happen to be at your polling station during the elections, you're not able to cast your vote. Similar thing to those in the diaspora, they should come and register with the address that is within Zimbabwe, because we don't have a database of polling stations that are available outside this country. We're also pushing for the public, to understand the issues around the data and the personal privacy of people's information. If you go to other countries, Ruben, you don't get access to the whole voters roll, including people's identity numbers. At times they'll give you the first 2 letters and the last 3 to show that you don't get everything about an individual, because this
I'm sorry, I don't know what is happening here. So basically, there are 2 things I need us to discuss. Number one, we need to talk about we need to talk about the issue of eligibility of persons to actually contest in elections based on their wealth status. He's speaking about showing commitment to the cause, to say, if I want to be a councillor, I must show commitment by paying $100. For me to be an MP, I must show commitment by paying $1,000. And the question is, where does the Constitution actually demand people to show commitment? That is what is very important. We cannot go against the laws and implement what we think in our minds. When you're in your mind, you think that a lot of people are contesting, it's wrong. When it is wrong according to you, it doesn't mean it is wrong according to the Constitution. The Constitution of Zimbabwe allows every Zimbabwean to actually contest in the election. So bringing or smuggling in those exorbitant charges on the basis that somebody must show commitment, it's wrong, because it goes against the Constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe. If we are to read the Constitution of Zimbabwe, it's clear that every person does have a right to actually contest during the elections, to take part in the elections, and to represent the people. You don't need to pay anything. You don't need to show commitment to anybody. You need to be trusted by the people from your constituency, by the people from your ward. That is it. So you cannot stop people by bringing up exorbitant fees, which you know that the poor don't afford. The reason why we are seeing people on the ballot is not because they want to be there for family reasons. It's because these people want to represent their own people, because those who have been representing have failed. You see so many people on the ballot paper, it's a clear sign that the economy is not functioning to an extent where other people are actually saying, let us take this upon ourselves to actually fight and make sure that we bring that much needed democracy, that much needed change. Secondly, on the issue of diaspora vote, he mentions that the court said for you to be able to vote, you must belong to a polling station. And all the polling stations we have, if we go to 2013, the polling stations which were there and the polling stations which were there in 2018, they are different polling stations. How did we arrive at more than 11,000 polling stations in 2018? It's because Zimbabwe Electoral Commission chose to decentralize the issue of polling stations, chose to decentralize the issue of voting. That is what they did. And if they manage to do it without any legal provision to decentralize the polling stations, they can actually go and add a polling station on the diaspora. That is through the embassies and through the consulates. Those provisions are there. You can actually do it, but it's just that they don't want to implement it. They don't want to do it. So they will come with various reasons, A, B, C, D. But you are going to see that these are just false reasoning. Why? It's because when you are residing in UK and you are voting at the consulate there, what you are going to do is you are just going to vote for the candidate who affects you, who is the president at this moment in time. The president, you vote for the president because this is a national election. And when the consulate is in UK, the consulate is actually representing the people of Zimbabwe, is actually representing the president in UK. So when the president is represented in UK, there is the presence of the government of Zimbabwe in the UK, which means the people in the UK must actually vote. That is simple logic. So whatever they will try to come and say and try to justify their nonsense, it is not going to work because the people of Zimbabwe actually know the truth and they actually know what needs to be done and what should actually happen. Lidson Weza, thank you very much for coming. Hanze hello team Zimbabwe zvimwe zvingaitika hazvo asi solution vota nowando wedu. Yes, thank you very much Lisbon for that contribution. Let us go in our numbers and make sure that we register to vote and make sure that we actually overwhelm the ballot. No matter how they will try to limit us, no matter how they will try to stop us from actually voting, let us go and actually vote. Let us go and make sure that we overwhelm the ballot. It is our responsibility. It is your responsibility. Together, we can do it. When we are united, we can actually do it. We can bring that necessary change. That change they are trying by all means to deny us. We can actually bring it ourselves. We can actually make sure that in 2023 we deliver that much needed Zimbabwe. So this is Team Zimbabwe. I believe that these two key issues are very important. I have decided to bring them to you, and this is what they say. So what do we do? Let us organize. Let us come and register to vote, because it shows that they don't want to actually let us vote in 2023 in our numbers. They want to limit Advocate Chamisa's capabilities. But let us come in full force and support the change champion in 2023. Let us come home, register to vote, and actually participate in elections. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for your support. We are here up to 2023 elections. As long as we are alive, as long as we are healthy and capable to come here, we will continue to come here and talk about change. Signing out, my name is Ronald. Let us meet in other episodes of the program.